Hey, how's it going? I want to record a video just talking a little bit about research and um, how to find resources for the two assignments that we have, and how to find resources for discussion board, and kind of clarify my expectations here. Just real quick, I'm just gonna I think repeat or at least maybe try to re-describe these assignments a little bit, as I know there's still some confusion. The two assignments, there's sort of like two big assignments for this quarter. One is related to therapeutic communication, and the other one is related to just cultures in general, uh, and nursing implications for both. And so the first assignment is a paper you're going to write individually about therapeutic communication. That's going to be due first. That's going to be the first one that's due. The assignment specifically looks for you to identify a form of therapeutic communication. You certainly can use motivational interviewing. You certainly can use verbal judo. But by all means, find a different one. Tend to read a lot of papers are about motivational interviewing and diabetes. If you want to write that, that's fine, but that's probably a third of what the papers are. So if you find something a little more interesting, by all means, research it. I'd love to read, have a little variation in the papers. The first assignment, motivational interviewing and therapeutic communication and any health concern, and finding the relationship between the two and the nursing implications. Writing the paper just like the rubric writes out, 1 through 10. Organize it like that, and you'll have what you need. The other part of that assignment is to have a peer of yours review the paper. Give them a hard copy, give them an electronic copy for them to write on, like specifically write on the paper and adjust it, and then send it back to you with their rubric filled out, and then you turn that in with your paper so I can see that you don't have to do everything they say, but I would like to see that you've made adjustments based off their critique. If they don't give you really any good critiques, then their grade will suffer, not yours. I usually don't knock down points off of the critiques, so don't worry about it necessarily, but I do want you to give some good feedback so they can adjust their paperwork. Okay, that's the first assignment. Second assignment is culture. It doesn't have to be ethnic groups; it can be religious groups. But what I'm looking for is the paper. There's two parts. The paper is a larger paper you can do in a group, or you can do it by yourself. Anywhere between 1 to 4 people can be in a group to do this paper. Writing about culture, looking at a resource, or several resources for the culture, and of course the most robust part should be the nursing implications. Looking for very, very practical, very functional nursing implications that everybody should know. As far as a lot of the more patriarchal cultures or religions, it's appropriate to talk to the male, the authoritative male in the room, or some of the more modest religions or whatever. Should avoid using, a guy, nurse, whatever. Those are kind of things I'm looking for. Dietary restrictions for certain religions, like the Catholicism, as far as the Lent on Friday, what dietary restrictions should you offer them? Those things are just very functional, very usable. Those are what I'm looking for. And then the second part of that assignment is a presentation that you'll post on the discussion board and upload it. It can be just a poster. You take a picture of. You can make a poster, take a picture of it. You can use a PowerPoint slide. I wouldn't use like a slideshow. I would just use a slide or a document or a PDF to sort of arrange your poster that just includes your 4 key pieces of information. People should be able to review it in less than 5 minutes. If you do want to create some sort of presentation where you have a voiceover narrative, as long as it's less than 5 minutes, I'm fine with it. Okay. So those are the two assignments. Please reach out if you have any more questions about that, and you and your groups are still confused on exactly what needs to be done. But I've gone to the library page here. Start your research. I did post some resources that Linda has created for us, which are fabulous, as far as how to create an abstract, right? These assignments, both papers should have abstracts, and I know that's not something you've done yet. So I will be pretty lenient as far as what that looks like, but the abstract, you should have your title page. Your second page should have an abstract, just 1 paragraph, and then the next page should be where your paper starts. And then when you look at the page numbering, like how many pages, like I think the first one assignment is around 2 pages, second assignment is around 5 pages. That doesn't include your abstract, your title page, or your references. Okay. So if I'm going to start, Linda says, don't worry about this box here. It's not functional very much, so not certainly usable. So you go down here and go to research databases, and I've kind of monkeyed around with this a little bit. I think CINAHL, and I'll look at here, CINAHL Complete. I think ProQuest, CINAHL and ProQuest are really the two that I were successful. So I opened up Cochrane here and I didn't find very much stuff. So I kind of like the ProQuest, I feel like there was quite a robust amount. And then I think here's CINAHL. I was looking at this article here. CINAHL is specific to nursing. Oh, it kicked me out. But CINAHL and ProQuest seem to be give you some good resources. So if I'm going to click on CINAHL, go to the page here, and so like I said, motivational interviewing in diabetes seems to be the most popular because I think it has the easiest, most amount of articles. But again, I encourage you not to all use this topic. Though if you did, that's fine. I guess just be reading a lot of articles on this, but find something a little bit more, something that you really find interesting and could get behind. So I found a full text one here. It's an early 2019. Some articles I usually get emails about. Can I use old articles? If Linda finds anything for you, you can use it. I don't care when the date is. If you can argue that the source is foundational, then I don't necessarily care how old it is. But the rule of thumb is less than 5 years. Here's an article, the full text about nursing, motivational interviewing, diabetes. I thought it. Here's a piece. So I'm gonna click on full text here. Okay, and so just kind of so I found this one. It was the first one I found. Looking at it, it's kind of it calls it a semi-experimental, which is kind of a it's not good for any sort of real conclusions, but it might give you some hints, and they're really soft in their conclusion of motivational interviewing and training based on self-care has positive impact on adherence, type 2 diabetic patients treatment. Therefore, nurses are suggested to apply the principles of motivational interviewing. It's really a soft suggestion. I think you could certainly use this to support your implementations. Looks like it's not necessarily in English though, so that isn't particularly useful. So I don't know how useful this article would be. I don't know why the abstract's in English and the rest of it is not. That's funny. But it seems like CINAHL and ProQuest are really your key here, and so you. So if I go back here and like I said, motivational interviewing and diabetes, and I'm kind of looking for that full text. And here's another one right here, 2014. Happy with that. You can click on this article, full text, takes you right there. And this one seems to review 4 studies. Let's see. Studies varied in quality. Forward methodology weak, owing to small sample size, lack of clarity of scoring measurement. Tools are limited use of valid measurement. Reported in conclusion, exclusion criteria. In conclusion, MI cannot be recommended as an evidence-based approach to diabetes self-management. So there we go. You have a negative study there. And so this is kind of a good, warning. Like, don't pick the second article that you find and just not look anymore, because this one it's probably not going to support the use of motivational interviewing and nursing implications. It's not saying you can't use a negative one, but it's going to be hard for you to write your paper on a negative negative research. And I think if you're wanting to write a paper about how motivational interviewing is not effective for diabetes, you certainly are able to. I think the burden of your case is going to be much higher. I honestly think you're going to spend more work on it, and you might as well find something that has a better connection. And so maybe you need to change the communication style. What kind of therapeutic techniques work with diabetes? Maybe you need to branch out. I think a lot of the data on motivational interviewing with nurses is weak because personally, I think the hospitals don't train nurses to do motivational interviewing. And so you have a lot of people who don't feel competent in the skill itself. The skill itself is great, but the only, the research is not great because the nurses aren't prepared, and so you maybe have to find a different technique. I think that as far as when you're looking up articles, I do recommend a little bit of flexibility there. Maybe your topic's a little bit too vague or general, or maybe it's too specific, and so finding what is out there and then maybe adapting your topic is a great way to do it. And so, I really think that adding a half hour or an hour to your researching and looking up what data is out there, what articles are out there, is gonna equally cut off that time for writing, because you're not gonna be stuck with two random articles that just happen to kind of be about what you're looking for, where you have to constantly be pulling reaches out to make your points of your paper. You're going to be frustrated, where you can just find two articles that are, that have a robust amount of data in it and are pretty easy to synthesize, and then you can make your case pretty well. And so I'd encourage you to spend a little bit of time doing this. You're probably using Signal and ProQuest, in order to get articles that are really functional here. So Linda, you can reach out to her. She did a whole presentation when we did it in live about how to get the APA citation. I don't remember how to do that, honestly. It's using these programs is a little bit I just forget, honestly. It's a little bit more complicated, but I know that you go to Google Scholar, and if I find an article I like, look at what I've been looking up: clonidine and ADHD. Oh, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try to copy this again. Copy. Oh, that's weird. They don't let me do this. No. Impact of individual. The Vanderbilt. I'm not showing you really well how easy this is. Okay. Nope. Did I ruin it? Okay, there you go. Oh, this is not what I wanted. I apologize. Hoping that, there you go. Impact of individual motivational interview based on self-care and the treatment adherence. You probably have more luck copy and pasting than me. I don't want to spend more time on it than I have to diabetic patients. I don't know what country this is in. There it is, impact of individual. So let's see if I can remember how to. I'm gonna click here. Yeah, there we go. So you click the little question mark. There we go. Look at this beautiful APA. Look at all the periods and commas are in the right spot. It's just beautiful and fabulous. There you go. You have your citation right there, and it's super easy just to copy paste it. And then you can also do something where you click on all two versions. And sometimes when you click on all the versions, some of them have full text available. These ones, neither of them do, but sometimes Google Scholar, you can kind of track down the full text. A lot of times Linda can get it for you for it, though. So I hope that's somewhat helpful. For both assignments, I really sincerely want 2 articles, not like the books. I mean, books are great, but especially for the motivation interviewing and especially for the therapeutic communication page, I would really like to see. That. This is the wrong Canvas. Oh, maybe it's the right one. The 2 articles and not just 2 random sites. Don't use like Medline Plus or anything like that. It's not particularly loading fast. I wanted to show you one more thing on Canvas, if this is let me do it or not. I'm sure why that's loading. Well, maybe I won't. So on Canvas, there's a under the syllabus and the module section, there's kind of an APA section there, and under it there's a great video that I would really encourage you to watch. Oh, it's really not going good. All right, I paused it so I could figure it out. All right, I'm back here. I have so you go to modules here, and there you go, APA. So here's an APA video that is fabulous. So everyone needs to watch this. If your APA isn't good, I'll probably dock you points, and so this will show you how to do the in-text citations. And it's super important. If you have any questions about the video once you've watched it, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer that. The other thing is here. Linda does a video on how to write an abstract, and certainly super essential that you watch this video as well. Let's see, the PowerPoint here, I think, is, then she has some examples. Wonder, it's not particularly sure if this is Linda's PowerPoint or, no, this is Al. So this talks about, this goes through, if you have any questions, I would say go through this first and just see if this answers it for you. And so, but it talks about just general rules, you know, preferably like Times New Roman, 12 point, double spaced, indent the paragraphs. Don't do one paragraph per idea, like do several paragraphs, like make your paragraphs like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 sentences long, but not like 2.5 pages long, which I've certainly had. Here's an abstract page, you know, 150 to 250 words. So this is pretty self-explanatory as you go through, but it really helps kind of break down the APA expectations. I'm going to be pretty lenient on this, but if I can tell that you didn't put any effort into doing adequate APA, you certainly will lose points. And so that's a quick video. Hopefully that helps describe a little bit more about what the expectation is for these assignments, and how to do literature search. Again, please reach out if you do have any concerns or questions. All right, have a good day.